What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are doing well. I've been a little bit off in the weeds with white balance and cheap ND filters this week. That's what I want to talk about in this video, specifically with the Canon T3i, which I think is easily the best deal in cameras right now. You can find these for 100 bucks, and with Magic Lantern you can't shoot RAW for more than like 3 seconds with one of these. But with Magic Lantern, which was initially designed to just give your camera more features, you get so many exposure tools, and you also get two really interesting tools to set white balance, which is what I'm talking about. I'm going to stay on topic. Okay, so this is my live view on my T3i. And one way that you can set your white balance is just to take a picture of a gray card. I've got a gray card out there on a little mic stand. So take a picture of your gray card, then you can set that to your custom white balance. Pretty simple. And then back in your live view menu, just go over, that's now your custom white balance. But personally, I haven't found that to be super accurate. It's always a little too warm for me. Another way that you can set white balance, specifically with the T3i with Magic Lantern, is up on the display button next to your mode selection dial. You can hit that and it gives you some extra tools. So if you hit it once, you have your gain and then shutter speed. And then if you hit it again, you have your Kelvin and then your ISO. And then in the very center, your set button now becomes a set white balance. So you can now set your white balance just like, like a Panasonic camera or a Sony. Right there, that gave me 7300 Kelvin with a magenta shift to 4. So that white balance is looking pretty good. But another way to do it, so let's change our white balance to tungsten light just so that it's off. So inside of our Magic Lantern menu, go down here to the vector scope, turn that on. You also can kind of zoom in on it. That's what the UV scaling is. And so now we have a vector scope on a Canon T3i, and you can see that that white point is way to the cool side there. So I'm just going to go back into my menu, and then I'm just going to click on the white balance. I press set, and then it brings me back out, and I can adjust my white balance while looking at the vector scope. So the vector scope kind of flashes, so we're getting closer. Getting close. Even closer. Almost there. And that's looking pretty good. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit with the digital zoom so you guys can see adjustments with the magenta and green. So another thing you can do inside of your Magic Lantern menu, go into your white balance setting, you can shift your tones. So if I go to magenta, so now I can shift my white balance to magenta or green. So you'll see that white point is moving farther to the left, the lower left hand corner. When I go green, and then it's a little too heavy on the magenta there, and it's a little to the right. So if I go magenta 5, now that is perfectly in the middle. And you also have a blue amber adjustment that you can even play around with there. So this is blue amber, but for some reason it's over my vector scope. So I haven't been using that much. But theoretically, this should be a perfect white balance on the T3i. Let's check it out. Okay, so let's see what that custom white balance looks like through the T3i. I'm going to have to use that audio, so sorry if it's a little weird. But this should be a perfect white balance through this camera for this ND filter. So this is the shot from the Canon T3i. This is with absolutely no color grading. This is what it looks like just with my picture profile, which is kind of a flat picture profile. So just with that vector scope, I was able to get the white balance near perfect. And that is a crazy useful feature to have in a camera that sells for about $100 on eBay right now. So I know this video might have gotten a little confusing. What you might want to do is download, let me quit recording there, download Magic Lantern, play around with it, try that push white balance setting. Now it works really well if the light source is hitting it, so the sun is right there. So what I would do with it is turn my shot like that, get my white balance, and then readjust. But with the vector scope, I'm able to dial it in for each specific shot. And that's pretty cool coming from a $100 Canon T3i. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you use any of these methods in the future. I'll see you guys later.